Hey guys, welcome back to Living Boundless with Lana and Lana, and this episode of Motivational Monday. Hey, come on. Hey, come on. Thank you. Today's topic, to get your week off in a good spot, I'm going to discuss, one of my other, personal life user guides, and one of this concept is called Think Again. So the concept is really centered around interactions with everyday life, with the people that you work with, people that you have in your personal and professional life, really just peeling back the layers of understanding individuals. So let's dive into that as you guys join me on a hike today. Wonderful. Dude, this is beautiful. So Think Again is inspired by Marcus Aurelius, with the many, inspirational quotes that he has. Wow, look at her go. I don't know what she smells. But everybody knows him as the philosopher, of course, but I actually created this guide around thinking again because ultimately he has a quote somewhere that we are our thoughts. Our world is what we think about, and we can create everything that we think about. And then reality ends up matching up with that. And it's inevitable that the world is changing, your environment's always changing, you have to be adaptable, and so on. But with that inspiration, I created, just a step-by-step process that seems pretty foolproof, but also simplistic, right? And it's about when you are thinking about this concept in a one-on-one situation, when you're speaking with somebody back and forth, how often do you actually just put all eyes on the person across the table? Reality is we don't do that enough. We don't do that enough, and that's where our lack of understanding falls short. So this step-by-step process is actually centered around your listening ability, the ability to actually put the spotlight on that person across from you when you are building that connection. And when you look at Marcus Aurelius and the whole concept of, your thoughts are your reality and what you do becomes in existence, right? Or what you think about becomes in existence, becomes your reality. Of course, it applies to you, right? It's easy to think about yourself. Now think about the person across the table. Think about their thoughts, who they are right now, who they are, what do you know about this individual, and what effort have you put in to get to know this individual. So that's the concept of thinking again. Give yourself an opportunity to know this person, because we are all so unique in our own world that we often get caught up in I, me, and you realize that you'll find more value about yourself. You'll understand how unique this world is when you start to get to know the person across the table with thinking again. So with that, there's a process to identifying more and learning more about that person across the table. So let me walk you through that as well. And the fact that the way you think is never going to match anybody else's way of thinking. It's very seldom. Even with your life partner, soulmate, like your way of thinking is unique to you. And when you're peeling back those layers, that's just the first thing you have to understand and buy into, because there's that old saying, agreeing to disagree. That's more prominent than you guys believe, than you may know in this world every single day. This world is full of just so many thoughts of, hey, think about this, think about that, when I promise you your life will improve and be better when you're creating your own individual way of thinking. And I use the example all the time, with my own personal family. As I've grown and as I've changed as an individual, the line of thinking has really truly changed and evolved for myself as opposed to my own family members. And the best thing that I have done and the best bridges that I have built in my life are centered around two polar opposite individuals, two polar opposite thought processes. So, with that, give yourself an opportunity to understand the thinking of the other person, of anybody in this world. Again, back to personal, professional, familial, it doesn't matter who this individual is. If you're looking to enhance your life from a thought process, understand that your thinking is unique to you, and so is that person. And when you give yourself the opportunity to give the other person, the opportunity to voice their thoughts, understand more about them, learn more about them, it's obviously not that simple, right? Not everybody is overly communicative, and some people are just not apt to sharing their thoughts all the time, right? That's just natural human behavior. So how do you elicit that, right? How do you actually practice that and put that into action? I have found that being a steward of listening and listening with intention, because there's a difference between listening for your own response and there's a difference between listening to actually understand what is going on with that person. So the practice and process, it's pretty simple, but step one, obviously, open-ended questions. Ask questions that don't have a yes or no answer. Do you like this? That's a yes or no question. Tell me what you like about this. Oh my God, this is a crazy cave. So there's a difference there. That's step one, right? Ask a question that has an answer to it. Yes or no is not an answer. Two, show your respect. If it's a thought you don't agree with, if it's something you don't agree with, you can respectfully say, I understand where you're coming from, but this is my line of thinking. And that's an action you can take where you're able to share your perspective, all the while learning more about them. This is insane. Wow. Coming back up. And then lastly, acknowledge that you are listening. And a good way to do that, and this is a simple 3-step process, guys. If you guys haven't noticed from this point, like 3 steps is all I need in life. The last step is to acknowledge an action that you have taken away something that this individual has said. You have acknowledged a thought, and a good way to do that in a very easy way, and I do this. Carry a journal. Note this person. If you've got Albert Einstein and you're trying to learn more about him, write down those key notes. What did you actually learn? Have proof for you and them. And a journal is a good option to do that as well. So yeah, coming back at you guys. And recapping today's Motivational Monday with Think Again. Your challenge, of course, leaving you with something you can tangibly put to practice this week. I would just say remove all thinking with your next conversation. Put the spotlight on the person across the table and really give yourself an opportunity to think again. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe, like, you know the drill. Until next time, do the damn thing.